The EFWA enables women to enter the accounting profession and empowers them to achieve equal opportunities and equal rewards.
Somebody's watching this video that's a potential scholarship applicant. What advice would you give them as they're filling out that application form?
You know, a lot of the applications that we've seen, and I've seen a lot of them, the students, they're passionate and they're engaged, and that's amazing. And I would tell them that, this may not be where they end up in accounting, because we all go in a lot of different directions, but having a background in accounting is an amazing thing. And if our scholarships can help with that, that's great, because regardless of where you go in your life, in business, if you have a solid accounting background and you know the numbers and you know how things operate, that's going to help you find an amazing career path, whatever that may be. So I get really excited when I see those applications, because these students are amazing and they're brilliant, and they're creative and talented. And I probably couldn't have managed to figure that out when I was their age. But it's cool to see, and I appreciate the fact that so many of them, they're not all necessarily, I want to be a CPA and do taxes, although that's awesome. But they have a lot of passion, and I think it's great that they're thinking about accounting, at least for a starting point, because there's so many different directions you can go with that when you get that as your foundation.
To just be yourself. You don't want to pretend to be something that you're not, especially on an application or an interview, because then someone's going to treat you like what you're not. So I would say just be yourself, and tell us your story. We want to know what's going on. We want to know about your life and struggles and triumphs that you've had. We don't want you to just check the boxes and write a couple sentences. We want to know more about you.
Tell your story, because we are looking to support women in non-traditional circumstances. So our scholarships are designed to help women who are the primary source of income for their family in some cases, or they're returning back to college after having to take off for one reason or another. They may be a single mom, which I was when I was going through college, and we're really trying to help those students that don't have the advantages of going traditionally, and or may not have the opportunities to get some of the scholarships because of one life circumstance or another. And so helping us understand your situation and why you are working so hard to pursue your career in accounting, and just letting us know that story is the best thing to do.
And one thing that I find is oftentimes people will prepare applications for multiple scholarships at once. And I think that that's great. And I know that it takes time, but I do believe that by taking the time to focus very specifically on the objectives for each scholarship, you're going to have a lot better result. And I know that some of these scholarships, they seem to ask for a lot. I know I have students that'll say, oh, I was going to apply for that scholarship, but it looked like it would take hours. And, and I always tell them, I said, well, if you're very interested in it, you should definitely do that. And the hours that you spend, you'll be articulating your message, articulating your goals, your objectives, those types of things. And the more practice you have doing that, that's great practice for a lot of things. It's a great practice for when you're applying for a job, when you're writing papers, when you're thinking about your career plans. So don't let that stop you. So I think that's one piece of advice, is treat them all different. I understand they take time, but the time is worth it. It's good for you. And even if you apply for scholarships you don't get, I hope that every scholarship application exercise is helpful. And then when you do get to the application stage, be really clear about your plans and your objectives. So for example, for EFWA, why do you want to pursue a career in accounting? What will a career in accounting do for you? And how do you feel that you're well suited for that? And how are you going to be dedicated and moving forward with your plans and your goals? Because our applicants, those that especially that apply for our undergraduate type scholarships, they have a lot on their plate. They're juggling a lot. And it's impressive to see what they juggle. That impresses us. I mean, we see that and we're just like, wow, this person is taking care of all these different aspects of their life, whether it's, family, personal issues, holding a job. I mean, you name it. And being able to say what you're doing, how that fits into your degree plans, and then ultimately, what will this achieving this degree do for you? It's exciting to read those. And I know that the committee that reviews these applications, they look at them very carefully. And you know what I love about it is they look at it with an open and full heart. They really want to help. And that's what's great about this foundation, those who evaluate scholarships, and those people that we serve on the board with.
Well, always put your best foot forward. And being a woman and getting a degree in accounting is still something to be proud. Uh, don't short your accomplishments or downplay your challenges. The challenges are important, and how you accomplish your goals and how you approach these challenges is what makes you you. If you speak from the heart, that comes across in the application, and frankly, that's the kind of application we like to read.
I think similar to most scholarship applications, there's the baseline things that are going to be looking for. So, did you show, if you've been in school in the past, that you had some aptitude, the learning component. But I think, at least when I'm looking at them, it's about, I'm looking for that same passion and purpose that I just talked about. How is this going to basically impact them in some way? And then when they get that degree, how are they going to impact others? So it's about the giving back, and how is this going to help change the direction of their life or help better it? And that the passion comes through. You read what they write, you hear their stories, and you've read something, you read it and say, wow, this is somebody that we absolutely want to give the opportunity to maybe take a risk on, because sometimes the grades aren't there. They've had a really tough background. Whether it was being a single mom or in a difficult relationship, and they've had to struggle through it. But you see when they write, the passion for how this is going to change their lives. And that's what I think EFWA is about. How do we take the scholarship money and help in our little way change people's lives?
Truly focus on their GPA. They need to be sure it's a strong GPA in the field. And I'm just giving you a for instance about it. Many years I've known people that have entered accounting, and one of my friends that's a CPA, got her CPA through the Big Six at the time, is now teaching dancing in Mississippi, and she's 40 years old. So she left that career very early. And another person that I met only wanted to be outside. And I said, you can't be an accountant outside. If you like numbers, do engineering, do something else. But I think the GPA always is impressive to me. And if they're just now entering the field, I understand that. But their stories that they tell, why they want to be in accounting, their life needs, I'm very impressed with anybody that's overcome struggles in their life, whether it's financial or learning another language. But I think more importantly, they need to try and think about their GPA and also mention something in a class environment that encouraged them to stay involved in accounting. I'm a non-traditional student, so I already had accounting experience. And then when I got into the classroom to advance my career, I thought, I can take this. Oh, that's the reason they do that. And this makes more sense now, because when you're in the weeds, you don't really know what the lawn's going to look like sometimes. But that to me has been some of the most impressive parts of it. Focus on the GPA, and if you're not there yet with the GPA, then at least try to mention something about why you like the accounting field, so we can feel like you're going to stay in the accounting field, and relate a life experience that you've overcome. I think those are, to me, some of the most important pieces of it.
To be honest and open. What do you really want to do? What do you want to accomplish? What have you had to overcome? What are you looking at? So many of our scholarship recipients have been out of school for a while, or were not able to go to school because of commitments at home or financial problems. So the best thing to do is give us a kind of tried and true, like I am an accountant, Tell us who you are and why you want to.
Mm.
That's the best advice I can give.
Whether you receive the scholarship or not, keep working towards your goals. I remember many days during my studies where graduation felt unreachable because of all the challenges that you have outside of just regular coursework. So just keep moving forward the best you can as much as the circumstances will allow. From a standpoint of applying for the scholarship, I think the most helpful information I could give to applicants is help us understand what impact receiving a scholarship will have on your life. If you go back to our motto for EFWA since the mid-60s, it's been about empowering women through education. And I think embedded in that motto is sort of a deep-seated desire to not only award some scholarship funds, but to know that the support and mentoring makes a difference in somebody's life. It is basically from the perspective of someone who has been a scholarship recipient. I felt it was EFWA demonstrating their confidence in my ability to achieve my goals. And so helping us visualize how to take our limited resources and use them most effectively to make a difference.